Welcome back, Channel Top Gaming. This is Aaron again with a little ranked draft in Throne of Eldraine. Been having a lot of fun with this set. A lot of different decks that are still coming to light that are draftable. Just overall, a widespread, super fun. So, pick one, pack one. Happily Ever After isn't exactly what we're looking for. It is a real mean build-around card and constructed that can actually work pretty well. But unfortunately no consideration for us here. Pathlighter is one of the adventure payoff cards. Stonewall Innkeeper is probably the most used and definitely highly picked. Allows you to draw an extra card every time you cast a creature with adventure on it. This just buffs each creature with adventure on it. We did just get done playing, didn't record that one, but we got done playing a green-white adventure deck that had a lot of nice synergies, or at least a couple of them, one of them being the Innkeeper. It's very powerful. Along with Lucky Clover and Innkeeper, this is probably the most sought after if you're looking to try and get into the adventure deck. Joust is a good removal spell for the Knight's aggro deck. Drown in the Lock is one of my favorites if you're playing the black-blue, which can go to mill. It can just be straight up control with very light mill. Usually you have some Revenge of Ravens. And then since it just dovetails nicely with the counter, Didn't Say Please, or the Merfolk, I forget it now, the one drop that mills, they tend to sort of go hand in hand. This would probably be my favorite card as I scan the commons to pick out of this, but it is a gold card. This is early in the draft. There's been bot rebalancing, so black-blue shouldn't be everyone's jam default. So it's between Drown in the Lock and Mysterious Pathfinder. Since white is a weaker color in this set, not that you can't draft good decks with white in them, it's a little harder even though this is single color, so it's actually a lot closer than it looks, whereas you usually do not want to grab anything that isn't just a broken build-around card that's a gold card or two-color card for your pick one, pack one. So if we do find the right pieces, this is excellent in a blue-black deck. If we don't find the right pieces, this can still be a 2/2 flyer that our random adventure creatures, even if we aren't all in on it, still get buffed. So I feel like it's probably our go-to. As well as flying has really shown itself. It's pretty important in every limited format, but in this one, it's pretty tricky, especially if we're playing in best of one. If opponent doesn't have really anything to deal with it and we can lock up the ground game, then a 1/1, a 2/2 flyer, since these are long games anyway, do work over time. I like Ventress Paladins and Barrow Witches and Memory Thefts, but we'll get to those as we get to them. I guess we'll be responsible. Take this Mysterious Pathlighter. Oh, sweet Drown in the Lock. I hope we don't regret that. Okay. Alright, already a few rewards. So, blue-white artifact flyers. If you watched our last video, that is what we ended up drafting because we had a Dance at the Manse, which ended up not working out that great, but it did show the power of blue-white flyers. This is definitely more artifact-based, of course. It goes along with Dance at the Manse and things like that, where if you have, say, the Cauldron that does 3 damage as an artifact and sacrifices itself, you can bring that back, pretty much every turn after that at a discount. I'm trying to think of other things. Golden Eggs, just all the things that you can recur anyway. This is just another recursion piece in the blue-white artifact deck. I don't know if it's as good as just this rod, and we're already in white anyway. Sir Alan. Alan's a pretty good guy. 4/4 First Striker is really hard to deal with in combat, especially limited. Of course, it dies to removal, like everything does, but it is demand and answer. And if you go wide, we just had one of these in the deck I was talking about, the green-white adventure deck, where we ended up going wider with like unicorns. Then this can do a lot of work. Get a couple flyers through as well, as long as you know that you're going to be able to protect him, even if they chump it off. Everything else does get that 1/1 buff when he attacks. So, leaning towards that. Bognutty can work if you're in that black-blue deck. It's not as good. It's better in a black-green deck where you're probably more abundant in food and being able to sacrifice those off. Use it as removal as well as a life gain benefit. It's pretty expensive, but it's a reliable card if you're in that color. Shine Chaser, you usually don't want to pick up with the intent of going into Artifact Enchantment. Style deck, you already want another larger bomb or a payoff, or already sort of on your way building that before you pick this up. If you aren't able to support its text and get its little bonuses, then it's not really nearly as good. A 1/1 flyer, even with Vigilance for 3 in 2 colors, really needs to be able to activate and enable its payoffs. Don't mind a Fairy Godmother if we get there. Flutterfox, probably more consistent. Again, sort of that blue-white artifact enchantment payoff. Out of this, it's really between Sir Alan or Emery. I feel like Emery is much more powerful. Emery is much more powerful if you can get into that deck, but it's more of a commitment, so even though it's single color, Alan just sort of goes well as long as you have a creature-based deck that you want to try and beat down with. So, again, we'll take the safe pick that we're already in the color of. And continue with our fairly disappointing packs. So, Deafening Silence, pretty much unplayable in Limited. Once in Future is excellent. Anything that goes long in these long, grindy games that gets you cards back. Forever Young is another one. The common land cycles that kind of have pseudo-adamant. If you already have enough lands out, they get an effect. Like the blue one grabs you a spell, the black one, Witch's Cottage, grabs you a creature and puts it on top of your deck. Anything that allows you to recast your spells is very powerful. And this in particular grabs any target card, or actually 2 of them, so it's not restricted to creatures or spells or anything like that. And if you're adamant about it, then you'll be able to put both those right in your hand and not even have to cost yourself a draw step to put one of them on top of your deck. So it's definitely what we're looking at now. Enchanted Carriage. I actually drafted a few of these along with some unicorns and other things in the more aggro go-wide deck. And while I think it has its place, it's easily replaced by Unicorn in the sense that usually you're wanting to cast adventure creatures. I still haven't found where this is great. Since sweepers aren't as prevalent in Limited, it's not as big a boon that it dodges mass board wipes like vehicles do, unless of course they're already crewed and they're a creature. You do need to cast more creatures to crew them again, but it's a minor upside for vehicles. Wicked Guardian is good. Not really something I'm looking at out of this pack, but anything that replaces itself, I've talked about it before, much like a Blade Juggler, or the one vampire. Anything that draws a card, even though it has a bit of a drawback, is very on flavor for black. This one, as long as you can reliably not have to kill one of your own creatures, which isn't too hard, then it's a nice 4 damage, replace itself when it enters the battlefield, attacker, or even blocker if you're looking to trade off. Black has a lot of graveyard tactics. And nothing else too interesting. The Scarenbrigg Paladin, especially for a common, is a great finisher in green. It comes out big, even bigger of course with Adamant, and then honestly, usually there's a lot of little dinky chump blockers that are kind of gumming up the board if you're in that sort of situation that these just fly right past. So for us, I think it's just Once in Future. Nothing else really even drawing us any particular way, and green-white is a good color pair, so. Alright, Glass Casket. This is a great card. It doesn't seem to come up as much in this format, even though it really feels like it should, but it's just good, cheap removal. The mana cost kind of comes back to haunt you with so many adventures floating around. The actual mana cost of an adventure card is the creature side, as far as I understand it, I think, so far. So this actually doesn't hit maybe as much as you want it to, but it's still a good card. Outflank if you need it, and we may need it, and white can be okay removal. It's just a little dicey. There's another Paladin, which is actually under consideration, and then a Cauldron. If we had more artifact synergies, say if we had taken that Emery instead of the Sir Alan, we would be in Bant and be a little confusing, but we'd be more likely to start leaning towards these. The more Cauldrons you can stack and get back out for reuse, the much better these cards get. For us, it's between Casket and I think the Paladin. And even though the Paladin is a nice beater, you really need all the good removal you can get, especially if you're not playing black. Black is, of course, spoiled like it often is. It's the go-to for creature removal, but in this set in particular, it really seems to shine. You can pair black with almost anything or nothing. So for us, we do need to make sure and grab our removal where we see it. And hopefully we keep seeing these Paladins come around and get a little late and we aren't signaling the bot to take green. Okay. I actually haven't played with this, but it is an adventure, and we're on the lookout, keeping our eye out for adventure synergies. Kind of a go wide. Sir Alan supports that go wide. We can sort of prioritize other things. It's an enabler in its own right. I wouldn't say it's great, but all of these hybrid, in this cycle, the hybrid cards tend to do all right, and I can see where this fits in. We'd be passing up on a filler Paladin, another outflank. Queen of Ice and Witching Well are good if you're in blue. Some better than others. Queen of Ice really enabling more aggressive strategies. Witching Well, part of the mill, or any actually good. It's a good draw anyway, but as far as artifact and then mill decks, usually like these. Fixes your draw early, draws you those cards a little later. The only real consideration would probably be Cauldron, but it's so early, we don't need to start getting panicky about our removal just yet. So let's go ahead and try out this new go wide and see if we're just doing a little green-white go wide. And we are getting pretty rewarded here. Looks like we're supposed to be in green-white, which is nice. I'd like to see some more adventure payoffs like Lucky Clover or the Innkeeper. It's good that we already have a Mysterious Pathlighter. Even though, so far, just the one adventure creature. We'll totally play some Flaxen Intruders, Flutter Foxes, and Unicorns, but I think Once in Future is too good of a card to pass up. Being able to continuously recur removal that's been used. Be looking for some Cauldrons for sure. Return to Nature, even when we do probably play at least one of. Just because Revenge of Ravens is still a thing, can get brought back. Pretty much just anything and everything. So even though we already have one and we would totally play some Lonesome Unicorn would probably be the next pick. Because you don't want too many Flaxen Intruders. They're fine, but her text as a creature doesn't matter nearly as much. And then that 7 mana, even though these are longer games, can stall out on as you're trying to get there. So push come to shove, I just go with the for sure value creatures. And then, yeah, neither of those are there. We'd still play Flutter Fox. But let's go ahead and take our Once in Future. Alright, the hits keep coming. Shepherd of the Flock is great. You can use it to recur, grab an adventure card back into your hand, play both sides however you like. You can fizzle an opponent's removal spell by grabbing it and snatching it back up into your hand, and then it's just a decent blocking creature or attacking as the second part. If it wasn't here, we wouldn't be too upset. Prize Griffin, like I said, flying is always important, but in this format it seems you can really get away with a lot more. And that's about it. There's the Merfolk Secret Keeper that I was trying to think of. Essential for the mill deck, and just generally a nice card. Chew up 10% of your opponent's draft deck and then put down a pretty good blocker. And so tiny. It's actually a pretty good card as well. Getting a lot of good enabling cards. As you can see, there's a lot of different decks that you can keep taking late picks for and improving. Probably at least 4 defined decks now. But we'll take our Shepherd. We're really on the lookout for more adventures. Wizard of Puppet's weird, and I don't know what to do with it. I haven't seen anything. I guess probably some sort of artifact. synergy, except for if you ever actually use it to make a token at exile, so you can't recur it. I don't know. It's a weird card. A lot of so tinies floating through. This seems like something we want, and often it'll attack for 3, maybe even sometimes 4, but it's generally just filler, and I don't even think it's that good of a filler. Whereas Carver is still not great, but it's definitely better. Pump tricks are what we're going to be all about. It's an adventure creature. It's going to benefit. Alright, this is interesting. True Love's Kiss versus Return to Nature. They're both instant speed, clearly replacing, but clearly exiling versus destroying can be in corner cases relevant if you're destroying, say, an artifact creature, or just an artifact in a deck that cares about artifacts or can recur them out of the graveyard, etc. Of course, exiling is better and it replaces itself, but the opportunity cost, when you can cast Return to Nature for half as much, and still kind of get some of those same upsides if it's a recurable card that they're trying to recur out of their graveyard as soon as they go to recur it and target it, as long as you have mana up, and you only need 2, then you can exile that card out from under them and deny them their recursion. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's almost the same card. Of course, replacing itself is pretty big, but not having to pay attention to double white and not keep up as much mana, I think edges out Return to Nature better if you're in both these colors. If neither of those were here, we'd take a Hingewalker on the off chance we might want to play it as a playable at 3, but probably not. Alright. I don't think we care as much about food. So 3/3 for 4, that makes a food token, doesn't really interest me. I'm not sure if we actually play the Beloved Princess in the main deck, but it's probably what we're going to pick. And this is a 1/1 that can attack for 2 as long as it's got buddies that aren't human. Which, well, there's a mix, but it's actually more humans than not. So even if I was interested, our deck isn't set up for it. I see a good amount of people playing Crashing Drawbridge, and I just don't think, at least I haven't seen it used in a total blowout situation yet. If you do want to use it to make a big swing in, or just a creature that all of a sudden needs to come down and can upset the battle math to the point to make it a favorable attack, then you're actually, you're letting the drawbridge down, and it's not going to be there to block, which is pretty much its only function as a wall, and kind of a dinky one at that. I imagine some aggro knight decks that I still, again, haven't seen or drafted, but in theory are out there, this could work, but pretty meh. But we'll take a princess and maybe play it. Okay. Nothing special. I don't think we're going to have a lot of knights, but whatever. Gotta put one of these down here. Okay, these cards don't really matter. A lot of late blue cards. Alright. Well, that's nice. I don't know if we're going to want that. The castle cycle is all very good. And while the castles are all pretty good, the black Lochwain, I believe is that one, is probably the best. And even though I use this in my mono green constructed deck, it doesn't have nearly as much impact as, say, drawing a card, or even the ones that do counters, or I forget what even the red and blue ones do. So while interesting, not nearly as interesting to say this Wandermare. This is a good payoff for the adventure deck we're trying to build. Not as good as an Innkeeper or like Clover, but still gets there. It can get pretty big pretty fast, and a 3/3 for 3 is just good on curve. Other notable cards though, Animating Fairy is great. Of course, blue-white, artifact enchantment deck is where it's at home, but this can be in a black-blue, this can even just be in a mono-blue, whatever it is, you're usually going to have at least one food token, maybe even a crappy artifact creature laying around that can become a 4/4 and immediately start attacking. And then the back half, a 2/2 flyer for 3 is still fine. So this is just a really good card. Not in our colors. Epic Downfall. Behind Baked in a Pie. Well, this is arguable. It's the other half of Reeve's Soul. Reeve's Soul usually gets stuff, even though that's based on power, not on mana cost. But it usually gets lower cost stuff, and then this cleans up on the top end. Both of them are sorcery speed. It's a lot of weapons for black. Instant speed Baked in a Pie, of course, destroy target creature and make a food token is the premier go-to, but plenty of options everywhere else. For us, in a deck that it looks like we're getting towards, we probably won't mind a Silver Flame Ritual, though we don't want it now. We've already talked about True Love's Kiss. Charmed Sleep is the blue quote-unquote removal. Always seems to end up with something along the lines of Sleep or Thirst, however you want to remember that card. Not much else. So, Wondermare it is. Ooh, alright, Keeper of Fables, probably where we're going. Sir Eleonora is fine. I don't think it's a Windmill Slam, but if you're already in blue, you're probably looking to keep up instant spells, keep cards in your hand. You can always sandbag lands, of course, as well. She replaces herself. For 5 mana, it's not that exciting, but she also helps protect herself a little bit, and if nothing else, is a decent blocker and sometimes can be a really good attacker. So, not the most exciting of the Sirs, but still very playable. Keeper of Fables is what we'll be taking, I think. And it's just great. It's a big body at a reasonable price that it doesn't even have to hit other non-human creatures. So the turn it comes down, if you have some way, especially if, say, we have a fairy that can fly through, then we get to draw a card. And it's for every time that a non-human deals combat damage. So you can draw a lot of cards. This is a great engine and an excellent card. I have not played with this particular hybrid cycle. Rakdos isn't really a thing. Clearly Knights are, but generally it's white with either red or black, or all three for Mardu. But I still haven't seen it in action or really used it. Seems alright. It's pretty high cost, but if you have ways set up to be able to recur out of your graveyard, I can see it being strong. And it has reach. Actually, nope, I take it back. It does not have reach. It can hit planeswalkers, but not your face. And we can talk about Reaper of Night. 2 excellent finishers. Sometimes all you need is a Reaper of Night, maybe 2, or at least one other finisher and a Reaper of Night in a black X control deck. You control, a lot of good black removal, especially if you're in blue, a lot of just good counter spells. You're slowly milling, even if you're not on the mill plan, if you're taking that long, and then you're denying them cards out of their hand, and then this just comes down and is a pseudo flyer. And 7 mana is a lot, but you get there quite a bit in these games. So kind of unassuming, not amazingly powerful, but definitely a reliable finisher if you need it in black. Trebuchet, excellent for that night deck. You're just dinging them, and as I've already talked about flyers, you can see how reach on the other side of that is excellent at just stymieing tiny fairies from getting through. And that's about it. Witchstalker, possibly behind Outmuscle, the best green common. It's 4/4 for 4. It tramples, it beats up things. It's what we would be picking if Keeper of Fables wasn't here for us, and we'll definitely play some if we get it. We need to look at our curve though, we're getting kind of fat, probably need some good 2-drops. But Keeper of Fables and go. Alright, looks like Fairy Godmother for us. Let's peek at our curve. The Princess, and maybe even the one out of the sideboard, might be getting played just to keep us, help hit a couple times in the early game, give us a little life cushion, just act as a creature. We'll see if we need them all. I mean, this is technically a 2-drop that we usually don't want to just drop it on turn 2. A little bit of removal. Obligatory Revenge of Ravens, anti-deck tech. And then our adventure payoffs. So really, we kind of need to stock up on some even more adventures. Some good buyback. We're doing good, but we do need some early game. Which Fairy Guide Mother slots right into. Righteousness, just don't pick it. I mean, if you just get it super late and it's kind of in your color and whatever, but you're usually not going to want to play it either. It's just too specific. Sure, it's almost like a removal spell, but it's not, and it's just too too specific to be of use usually. Mad Ratter is excellent. The Draw 2 deck, we haven't been able to draft one since, I think maybe we had one in Sealed, some of our Sealed play that we did. But we haven't been able to draft one. We haven't seen any markers for him early enough that we get into it. But it is one of the 2 or 3 very powerful, even 3 or 4 very powerful payoffs for the Draw 2 deck. Probably the biggest drawback of playing the Draw 2 deck, even if you get into it with some nice payoffs, is drawing too many cards, which, since there are legitimate mill decks and these go very long, you run a real danger of just drawing yourself out of your deck before you can kill your opponent. That said, if you get the chance, it's a really strong deck. Skullknocker Ogre is pretty unplayable. Opt shouldn't really be played outside of the Draw 2 deck. If you do play it in blue, just know that you're kind of playing draw to fix not having the card you want, which could have been not that Opt card. Foreboding Fruit's playable. Merchant of the Veil is another enabler for the Draw 2 deck. I've seen a lot of Draw 2 cards. And that's about it. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary. Probably my favorite. Actually is my favorite of the common land cycles for these. Just putting your best removal spell or counter spell back on top of your library can be very disheartening, and sometimes can even prompt a concede from your opponent if they're frustrated enough. So definitely pickable. But for us, a modest Fairy Guide Mother. Man, more black removal. Rich get richer. Just look at it all. Look at it all. So this Paladin, this isn't very interesting to us. Let's see. We still want some early creatures. We're doing pretty good on our adventures. Our deck's shaping up to be very playable, though no super exciting bombs, but I'm not disappointed by any means. Out of this particular deck, we have 2, so this can be, since we're so far kind of go wide, we'll want to pick up a Silver Flame if we do go full bore. Yes, I did it. Stupid brain. Shut up, brain. So anyway, if we go full bore with 3 1/1 board creatures, 3 little piggies, that can be good enough. The food, we don't really play. Most of the food synergies are going to be in black-green. Not all of them per se, but most of them. And for 6 mana, we're much more interested in a Flaxen Intruder, just paying that extra mana, getting 3 2/2 bear creatures. And besides that, there is Scalding Cauldron, which is likely our pick. I see nothing else that's that interesting, or even talking about Barrow Witches. Definitely playable. Even if you're not specifically in a knight deck, there's a lot of handy knights that just happen to be black. Sir Conrad off the top of my head. But then recurring this, then to draw even more back out of your graveyard is a lot of value. It's like a big Gravedigger. Big, expensive Gravedigger. That's about all we need to talk about here. Scalding Cauldron, just playable, solid removal. Wow. Well, I don't know. Let's see if we actually play 3 once in futures. This Rampart Smasher is very attractive, even though it's going to be a little tricky to cast. It is just a big old smashy boy. And Fairy Guide Mother, honestly, like I said, we still kind of need some early creatures. Though I don't know if that outweighs, and especially adventure creatures, even though I don't think that outweighs our other 2 options. And don't play this. Just don't do it. That's about it. Locthwain, on the other hand, can be deceptively playable. Flying is a big deal, but don't play it for flying. Play it if you need artifacts, and especially artifacts that come back out of your graveyard, like for Dance of the Nance, or other enablers of that nature. Or if you just need artifacts on the board, again, for those sort of usually still blue-white payoffs. And in a pinch, yeah, you can pump it and fly it over in these late games. I've definitely been picked apart for several turns by a Locthwain Gargoyle I just couldn't do anything about. Don't pick it too highly, but don't shun it. It isn't as ugly as it seems. So for us, between these 3, and really, I think between these 2, let's see. What are we super wanting to bring back with our Once and Future? Scalding Cauldron, now that we have one, even though it's not the most efficient use. Sometimes this will get blown up. though not likely. Maybe sometimes countered. Really just because since mill's such a big deal, the once and futures really become much more interesting. Bigger payoff. We have some decent enough creatures. Do we play 3 once and futures? Versus 1 big smashy boy. Because we don't have... The can't be blocked by Knights and Walls isn't that big a deal, though it can be, there's plenty of Knights and Walls. It's more that we just want a big beater. I don't know. We do kind of already have some decent enough beef. It'd be pretty hard to cast. Especially since we're, even if not skewed towards white. And Once in Future is a really good card. Alright. It feels like it might be a mistake because sometimes it's too much of a good thing, but I guess... Yeah, we're going to go for it. Alright. Flip back to this view for you. I'd be tempted to splash Savvy Hunter. Just making that much food and then being able to turn extra food into draw is great. As you can see, though, it is black-green. And splashing it would be very difficult for us and kind of screw up some of our other curve. So we would need some good fixing, which doesn't exist in this set. As far as like readily available, I guess I should say. There are a couple good fixers. So we'd be looking for golden eggs, we'd be looking for spinning wheels, be looking for the Thorn Heart Acolyte, something like that. Which is the green 2/3 creature that can tap for any color mana. We're already in green. It's possible, but it's definitely dicey. It's not totally out of consideration, but let's see. We have an outflank, which we would play at least one of, especially since we already have creatures that like to go wider. And we'll be keeping our eyes out for Flaxen Intruders. And then Insatiable Appetite, it's not interesting to me at all. Even if you're in the food deck, it just doesn't seem that good. There's other better options. So we're between a Savvy Hunter on the outside chance of splashing if we pick up fixing that we don't have, and a playable decent removal card. So I guess I answered our own question. Outflank it is. Alright, not much for us here. Ginger Brute is playable. Some people get too excited about him, some people get too down on him, but it's a playable. I don't know if he makes our main deck, possibly. The fact that it can get in repeatedly unblockable, essentially, I can't even think of too many things that have natural haste. I know there's a hybrid knight. Nothing else off the top of my head. Means that this is generally always unblockable. It only costs 1 to make it so, and in a pinch, you can eat it. So it's actually pretty decent, pretty doable. I see some people playing these, unless you have an artifact synergy going on, usually not. And we talked about the rest of these. Except for, I don't know if we talked about Noble. Noble's a good playable. It allows you to sacrifice creatures out from underneath removal, screws up battle math, can sacrifice and get rid of creatures if you have synergies that literally like it when you eat your own creatures. It's a very playable card. Alright, Ginger Brute for no particular reason. Ooh, alright, perfect. Good late Silver Flame ritual for us. If it wasn't here, we would pick up the Wolf's Quarry, though doubtful we would play it. We got better stuff to do with our mana. Other than that, Runaway Together is a good playable. And that's about it. Very happy to see a Silver Flame. Now here's where the road meets the rubber. I've tried to even want to play this in a Enchantment Matters blue-white deck, and I didn't like it. In a go-wide deck, I still think I don't like it. It just doesn't usually do enough relevant, and if you're not getting +1 to power so that you can attack for a wider attack or in the air, then generally the blocking aspect isn't that interesting. I mean, sometimes it stymies a board out, and sometimes you just wish that you weren't playing Fortifying Provisions. So, not that excited. We already have our one of Revenge of Raven's Hate, so we will gladly take a second. I don't know if we play all two, but I like the option, and I'd say there's a good medium chance. Still not interested in running, especially now that we're so thick at 4s, a True Love's Kiss. Not even sure if we play this weapon rank, but we'll pick it up. Don't have any other synergies for this, so I doubt we play it. I don't think we're going to need to get that desperate. We still have a whole nother pack, so we'll pick up a backup Return to Nature. These cards don't really matter. Ooh, wow, I can't believe we wheeled that Fairy Guide Mother. That's very nice. I think we can actually move the Princess out now. And big ol' whiff. Enchanted Carriage is more interesting now that we have more go-wide strategies and payoffs. So it's very likely our pick. I don't see enough ways, unless we try to put the princesses back in just for the benefits of this card. But I don't see too many ways for us to gain life regularly. And I don't think it's worth bending our entire deck to try and accommodate. We have one food. Really, we want some more adventures and adventure payoffs. Oh, there's an out muscle I didn't see, so we'll be taking that, but let's go ahead and go through. We already talked about Carriage, and like I said, I'm a little more intrigued, possibly playing that. Turn into a pumpkin. At first I was a little skittish about the 4 mana cost, but I've played it several times now, and it just does everything you want it to do. I've cast it for Adamant more often than not, but it's generally not that hard if you're already there. You're trying to hold up counter spells or other instants, and this is just another nice trick. It bounces any permanent or any non-land permanent, so you don't have to worry about just creatures. It can bounce like a midnight clock before it strikes a midnight. Things like that. It replaces itself immediately and usually leaves you with a little happy token. So very, very playable card. Don't let the 4 mana cost frighten you. There's Red's nice basic removal. Instant speed, exiles instead. Curious Pair. If we see one, we likely snag it just because we still need early creatures. Not as exciting as an adventure, but it's still an adventure. Still does some stuff. And then probably the best green common, and definitely our pick. Just Outmuscle's good removal. It's Prey Upon that if you can cast it Adamant, you don't have to worry about losing your own creature. Sorcery Speed slows it down, but that's green for you. And yep, on we go. Alright, more go-wide help. Really wish that we had seen some Lucky Clovers, the Edgewall Innkeeper. Hopefully we still see it in the next pick or two. Things to help pay us off for our adventures. As of right now, we just have the 2/3 drops. But you know, that said, we're building up a go-wide strategy. This likes going wide, this likes being able to sneak in, even if you have to give up a creature or two. Except for these make humans. Gotta remember that. Ranger makes humans. Want some futures. We're going to be buying back a lot of Outmuscles, I guarantee. And honestly, for the green-white, we've picked up some removal. It's always the scary part. Make sure you get enough removal if you're not black. So here, I can talk about Arcanist Aldo real quick. It's great. Blue-white, again, everything really fits into its lane. For these hybrids, this entire set's been really on point, flavor-wise and just design-wise. But I've been freaking loving it. The owl does what it says. It's a little bit overcost for a 3/3 flyer, but not totally. It's actually still reasonable, just not perfect, not a great buy. But the text actually makes up for it. If you've built your deck right, this is just a draw one, replace itself. You even get to pick, maybe it's between your removal trapped in a tower and your artifact finisher, whatever that might be. So just like the rest of the hybrid cycle, definitely playable, especially if you lean into the synergies. I imagine we're picking up another Ranger. Not desperate enough for an outflank. Shining Armor. I don't even know if it's playable in the Knights deck, and that's about it. This is fine. If it was a best of 3 format and we had to, I'd probably, keep one in the sideboard against, on the outside corner case, like a Realmed Cloak Giant, as far as the Giant goes. Or if you have enough evasion and your opponent doesn't seem to have enough removal to go around, as soon as you're at least pretty confident that they're not going to blow it out at instant speed, it can be all right. But by and large, auras still aren't that exciting. Still get 2 for 1. Alright, Ranger it is. Come on, Lucky Clover. Nope. Revenge of Ravens. I say I mean, I play the heck out of it if I'm in black all day, every day, and everybody should. And that's probably part of the reason why it's a little too powerful. If it goes in every single deck, regardless of theme or flavor, then it's probably too powerful. But if you see it, if you're in black, do it. Do it often, do it well, and if you're on the other side of that, make sure you're main boarding at least 1 Return to Nature, or its equivalent. Here's another excellent payoff on par with the Rat Catcher? Mad Ratter. For the draw 2 deck, probably even more powerful. It can get out of hand real quick. This is likely our pick. It can stall out a board against big attacks, and then allow you to attack in the next turn. It can tap out to allow the big swing in for the win on a go wide deck like ours on the alpha. And it's a 2/3 flyer on the back end, and it's an adventure. So all of those together, it's great in our deck, but it's also just a good card in general. As we move down the line, it actually has a little competition, but I'll just go ahead and say right now it doesn't. But we wish and hope that this Witch Stalker or this Tree Folk cycle around. Both are just good playables. We already talked good 4/4 for 4, tramples, beats down, gives you a little food for whatever reason. And Tree Folk, play it on 4, pump up creature, make battle math either impossible or at least difficult. Possibly just stick it on a flyer, go to town, comes back down as a 6/5, and a turn or 2 after that, and it's an adventure. So it'd be a little harder to pick between these two if we didn't just want our go-to tactician. Alright. Well, still no Lucky Clovers or Innkeepers, but Beanstalk Giant is definitely playable, and we'll take it. Behind that, Lonesome Unicorn. Go ahead and stock up on these. It's one of the premier playables if you have adventure payoffs. It's nothing crazy, but you get your 2/2 for 3, and then you bring it back down with a 3/3 with Vigilance. Again, it's a little overpriced, but that's because you're getting 2 cards in 1. You need to pack as much value into each card when there's mill strategies and just these long grindy games going around. Nice little late Mystic. And Heraldic Banner. It doesn't necessarily need to go in the Knights, though it's probably best there. It gives certain gold cards and multicolor creatures a little extra edge if you're trying to run in fast. It would probably actually be a consideration for us, make all of our little white 1/1s and dinkers and flyers a little tougher, or a little more powerful, a little more attacky, and just finish off our opponent a little faster. But Beanstalk Giant is what it is. It's great ramp. It's, they said, well, we can't just give you a rampant growth, but since we're paying a little more for it, here's a whole other creature that comes down as a 7/7 plus. It doesn't trample, but it'll beat down the door one way or another. So definitely where we're going for it. And it's an adventure. Well, I think we still need some early 2-drops and whatnot, so we're likely going Squire. Let's see. Plenty of adventures. Gingerbrute might not even be necessary. Though it might, because we're still a little stretched. And that's part of the reason we're going to be taking the Squire. For 2-drops, our payoffs are mainly on 3. And then all of our go-wide enabling happens on 4 and 5. It's slower. Hopefully we're getting in for some early damage too. But if we can get an overwhelming force, then we've exhausted our opponent's resources and just swing in big and wide, just like Mama taught us. We're happy to take the Squire in the sense that we need the 2-drop, but we wouldn't have been disappointed with taking a Tree Folk, though we would have to start figuring out what's getting cut on the back end. Nobody likes that. Definitely goes in Artifact Enchantment deck, clearly, just to pay off for that. Turn my grounds, nice fixer if you're trying to do the Mardu thing. Not much else going on here. Happy to take our second Squire. Now I feel that we've got our early game under control, just in time to whiff on this pack. Since none of it matters, take Mystic Sanctuary. It's my favorite card. Okay, well, plenty of Guide Mothers to guide us down. Still wasn't even really looking at Wolf's Quarry. Spider or Curious Pair? So we're ramp at 3. Top out at 5. Definitely going to run 17 mana. Since we have so many 4-drops, even though this is a good adventure card, I'm going to move to the sideboard for the moment to clear it out. It might come back in when we look at everything. I'm going to put 1 ritual out as well. The fact that once and futures are going to be recycling a lot of our cards for us means we don't have to get too crazy, especially with the 2-ofs. Nothing worse than having just 1 or 2 creatures out that can't attack and pull your second Silver Flame. Payoffs, looks pretty good. Obligatory Ravens, anti-attack. And now we're starting to look decent enough. It's actually a pretty functional deck. I like it. So, now that said, I think we'd prefer the anti-flying tech at 3 versus just another adventure. Since we only have the 2 adventure payoffs, outside of just adventures being generally pretty good cards, I don't think it's as big a deal, and now that we've got the early game under control and we don't care about food, we're happy to take some anti-flying tech. Okay. I just don't see us playing this. There's still all the reasons I said before, even though it'd be nice to be able to buff up one of our smaller creatures, and we might actually play the second outflank. Okay, same reasoning as before. And looks like that's gonna do it. And we have, I think, 3 cuts. Yeah, so 3 cuts. How many creatures? A lot of creatures. So a lot of room to cut in creatures. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces removal. That's quite nice. Especially for a white-green. Since we have 3 once and futures, I'm tempted to cut one of these outflanks. We'll see. We'll keep it on our plate. The only reason I'm just not already leading towards that is we should have a good number of creatures out. We got a lot of little tiny guys. We got several ways to make multiple tokens. I thought we had another... Maybe not. Maybe I was thinking of the carriage. I was thinking we had something else that just sprayed out a couple different tokens. Alright, well, we still have a lot of creatures regardless. And that kind of boosts the usability of Outflank. If your opponent needs to just take care of 1 creature to mess up the math, it's scary. If they need to take out 2, it's still doable and still kind of scary. If they need to take out 3 or 4, then that Outflank's gonna happen. And if it's gonna happen, for sure, Outflank becomes a very good card. So what are we cutting? Possibly this Tree Folk. Even though I was talking it up, it's clearly not as good as our other top-end finishers. Definitely playing at least one ritual, and I think just 1. The 3 once and futures really skew what we should and shouldn't play as far as multiples. I think we do play both Rangers. We want to be able to spread out our creatures and be able to pump them. I can see a scenario where we can double pump and swing in either through the air for a finish or just a good alpha strike. cut this fat boy for now. Payoff, just good card. Is the spider worth mainboarding? I guess we have a good amount of flyers. Outflank doesn't care. Yeah, okay. We cut the spider. That's why best one's tricky. I don't get to see if we have the flyers first to need to bring in a spider, but here we are. And then we ended up with quite a good, everything's got nice adventures. We want to protect our Wandermare and Pathlighter. Though the Pathlighter comes down definitely a little more aggressive than Wandermare. And we should have some really nice payoffs. I think we want both tricks and all 3 flyers. What do we need? We need to cut one more. It's actually a pretty tough cut. If we had a Thorn Acolyte along with this Beanstalk, I'd be more inclined to possibly cut a land. But then we also we didn't pick up an Innkeeper, which really take that draw for granted after you played in a deck with one. So good. So definitely 17 lands. Do we play all 3 once in futures? I think so. Really makes our curve fat back here, but I think it's good. What are we down to? 14 creatures. Maybe it is just 1 squire. Because even if it comes down with a Pathlighter counter on it, 3/2, still kind of shrug-worthy versus a 2/2 flyer, even if it comes down late, it's going to be good. Are we going to miss the trick that much? Maybe. I don't know. We did end up, like I said, with some pretty decent removal, and then all of the buybacks. But if we're taking out our early curve, really seems like we should cut a 4-drop. Maybe we run it with just 2 once in futures and see if we're just totally wrong for doing that. That feels more likely. Because 2 is still quite a few. And if we get these too early, then we're not going to be super happy with it. Kind of makes me think back to that 3rd pick then. That's alright. Alright. The Adventure Zone. And if you're stupid and annoying, I feel like we picked you too much. Let's just do good old standby. Let's double check our mana. Oof, alright. So we need all 8? I don't think we care about Adamant anywhere, but it looks like we really care about having a lot of white mana available. Okay, we got 1 double green. And the Fixer. 10 and 7 doesn't sound unreasonable, but since we don't have any Adamant either, it doesn't seem like maybe it's necessary. Alright. We'll run it. 9 and 8. Should be correct. And let's give it a go. Feel pretty good. I give this deck a B+. We do have a couple different things. We have some synergies, which can capitalize on and win us some good overwhelming hits, and then we have a pretty good go-wide strategy. And we're rewarded with a pretty good starting hand. Not psyched about... there we go. I was going to say, I'm not super psyched about casting adventure creatures without using their adventure. Sometimes that's just the right way to go about it. Those are the colors for a draw 2 deck. So, go ahead and get in for 1, and I think we just dropped the Squire, even though we could just drop the Cauldron. Yep, couldn't do anything about that. Sucks. And we want to kill that ASAP. So let's go ahead and get a creature down. Poor little fairy guide mother just went splat right into the stupid Vandal. Perfect play for the Vandal, though. Oh yeah, draw 2 or die. Draw 2 for life, homie. Woof! Alright, opponent is super happy with their deck, especially seeing green-white on the other side, knowing that you're not going to get milled. Well, I don't feel like racing's the way we want to go, but it's going to be the most cost-effective for us. I guess we could boost the Squire, throw down the Guide Mother versus the Cauldron, because we're just going to outmuscle probably next turn. Except for the Vandal, there's a good chance the Vandal doesn't grow. I think that's probably worth betting on the outmuscle. Alright. Thank you for tapping correctly, Auto Tapper. I was not monitoring you. And we're going to have to, trade with the Vandal, but it'll be well worth it if it's still available to be traded with, which it looks like we're going to get away with, which is nice. Okay, trying to maximize his pieces. Probably wouldn't have blocked anyway, but good to know. Alright, so we have 2 choices. We could outmuscle, but then we're just trading. I think we just Cauldron this. And I don't think, actually if anything, we want to Cauldron over outmuscle. Because he might be holding on to us so tiny, and he could so tiny the Squire, and then we would just die and feel real stupid. So let's go ahead and get in. And then Cauldron the Vandal's face off. If he has an opt, this is going to also feel bad, but alright, good. That was a chance I was willing to take. Alright, not too shabby. We're going to get a 4/4 first strike down with synergies. And the turn after, before we attack with him, we're going to probably outmuscle something. It's probably that Merchant of the Veil. He gets first strike, yeah. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. I don't think they have any counters. Alright, looks good. Let's just hope our Sir Alan survives long enough for us to get some swings in. Okay. Wolverine gets a little nutty. Don't target Sir Alan. He's nice. He's a nice guy. No attacks? I think maybe he wants to draw off of that well. It's going to be a little unsettling, though. Let's think. If we could make him indestructible, it'd be so much nicer. I guess, actually... Oh, if he has a bounce... Alright. So we have 2 to work with. I guess we can Guide Mother Sir Alan to see if he has the bounce. And he would probably counter that. Did. Is there any reason he's too white? I don't think so. Yeah, there's nothing to gain from that. Alright, so here comes whatever he's got. I kind of hope it's a counter. Alright. I mean, I wasn't in love with it, but okay, not too bad. We can get it back our once in future with our other once in future. But it does now leave us clear to smash face. And actually, I guess, yeah, we should have done that backwards. That's fine, though. I guess we'll offer him the trade anyway. If he wants to use his last creature to take him out, that's fine. Alright, we might have been able to get in the clear already. Okay. Okay. We're totally fine with that. So he's going to have to jump off Sir Eleonora. Battle of the Sirs. This would be a cool game to animate. Anybody has any inclination towards that? Okay. Seems good. Actually, wait, we can just do this. Grab you. Give you flying. And good game. Alright. Yeah, the more I play with these adventures, especially these tricky little guys, the more I'm like, oh right, bounce that, buff that, cast it again, cast it for more adventure synergies. Shepherd of the Flock's definitely really good. Alright. That was pretty nice. It was nice and smooth. The opponent had at least all the right pieces. We saw at least one good payoff for a draw 2 deck. Gotta assume he probably had others in there. And it was all coming together pretty well. He just ran out of cards. Alright. We're gonna need to draw some mana, but this is keepable. Is this our first mill of the day? That's fine. Wants to go tempo. I think we just throw down the Shepherd and we don't mind trading that for the Queen of Ice if that's the direction he's going. Yeah, that's fine. We do have a certain amount of expendability for these guys because we can always get them back. Alright, looks good to me. Trade it or take 3, sucker. Trade away. Alright, not the most thrilling start, but I'm happy enough. Nice. Right on time. Don't like that counter. Possible counter, at least. And it looks like maybe not a mill. Maybe just another draw 2 deck, or at least those, again, are the colors. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter either way, so. Got another one. Oh no! Alright, so we already have a once in future. We're not that upset. I don't think we're going to need Return to Nature, so we probably just grab both Rangers. Okay. Oh, nice. Decisions. I guess we can wait and see. It's possible we can adamant the once in future. I think we just get to keep her out while getting's good. If they want to hit us in the face, then we get to return with a bunch of cards. Sounds best. No, thank you. Alright. Opponent draws another, finds a land. Interesting. So, I think we put down Pathlighter, hold up and outflank. Doesn't seem super mana efficient, but it's going to allow us to attack in. And let's see, I can see him having a runaway together. Wouldn't be great. But all we would do then is trade Guide Mother. Unless he's actually... See, I feel like he would back out the Servant and the Keeper. Yeah. Going this route gives us the most outs against any bounce. We might still get put behind by some bounce, but it's not going to blow us out, and we shouldn't lose any creatures over it. Or rather, we should trade at worst. Interesting. Now would be... Yeah, here it comes. Alright, so not the worst, run away together. If he wants to put that Paladin back down, though... Okay, goes a different route, or at least starts out. Wants to see what's on top. Opponent still has plenty of cards, and decent amount of mana. Alright, so there that goes. So we get another free play, probably still just replay Keeper. Thank you. Well, we do have our Once and Future now, which is nice. We'll probably play that next turn and get our outflank back to our hand, depending on what their mana looks like. If we do it now, it does let us attack. Actually, no, it doesn't. Tricky outflank. Let's pretend we still have one in our hand. Do we want this to draw cards, or do we want to attack him with Sir Alan? It's kind of hard to know. Yeah, plus, might as well not let him know that we have another bomb in our hand. Or at least a good card. Maybe not a full bomb. If he taps out enough for us to be comfortable, Once and Futuring with Adamant would be preferable. Alright. Alright, I can deal with that. So it's definitely a draw 2 deck. Not sure what other payoffs they found. There's plenty. Ooh, Covetous Urge? Interesting. Man, if they threw that away, what the hell do they keep? Jesus. Okay. Let's have a little party. So we want just Outflake, and do we want Shepherd for any reason? I don't think it's worth Shepherd. It's too mana intensive, I think, to do the Fairy Godmother trick again. Whereas the Outflank is just gonna straight up screw him. Yes, so cast for Adamant. Grab Ranger, grab Outflank. And now we get to swing away. And we're going to draw at least one card. So, okay. Interesting. Alright, so definitely kill you. Or we can kill you and bounce there, but then not kill you. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not our only regrow, though. I think we want creatures. Or excuse me, cards more than bigger creatures. Yeah. So we're going to kill that. That'll bounce there. Yeah, that's acceptable. As far as payoffs go, it's not amazingly great. It's good. It is good. But it's not, say, extra cards like an Innkeeper or something of that nature. Alright, so tiny on the Keeper. And that all worked out okay. So I can make that fly next time. I don't hate it. Do we want to use our mana now? Nah, I don't think so. Alright. Alright, opponent is down to 2 cards. They have a little mini engine, I guess. Oh, getting froggy. Alright, I like it. So we're going to be able to draw some cards, which is nice. They still have possible tricks. Oh, maybe just going to crack the well now. See if they get something to play. Maybe not. Alright. Cauldron is nice. So let's start by see if we can get our Keeper to fly across. Get a little extra card advantage going. Ooh, so far so good. Yep, this feels good. Okay, Fairy Vandal. Maybe we should have put down the Cauldron first. Oops. Wants to eat the other Guide Mother, I guess. Yep. Nice. Okay. So, still have 6 mana. Pretty darn good. I guess that's just a Ranger, a Cauldron, and a Fairy Guide Mother. Seems good to me. Even though I'd love to get that Howland down. We kind of lost the initiative there. I think, yeah, we can risk not Cauldroning the Vandal immediately. So let's go here. Oh, I was going to say, if they still have a counter. Amazing. Go here and go here. Alright. We're in rougher shape than I'd like to be. But can't complain. Opponent draws a couple. Maybe it was a little aggressive going with the Pathlighter. I should have thought through the blocks more to make sure that we were safe enough. Sure we wouldn't have gotten a for sure card, but then the Guide Mother would have been the only thing traded away. We still have one more regrowth somewhere, so we can get some of these back possibly. Alright, opponent pumps up the Vandal. Kind of getting their engine going pretty well. Alright. Did I say opponent was getting their engine online pretty well? No, I meant they're frickin' crushing it now. Holy crap. We lost some initiative back there somewhere. Though, to be honest, besides maybe the aggressive attack at it, don't really think anything else played out poorly. Ugh. Save us, green kitty cat. Surprised if they aren't a little more aggressive. Interesting. This doesn't do anything. No, just 2 damage. Okay. Okay. Well. Cool. Good news is we do get to cast both of our spells if we want. Bad news is we probably want to destroy all humans. It's not what I bet. Not the robot nation taking over. So draw a card, discard. We can't do much about that. Can't do much about it. So it's going to put +2 to first strike and trample. Guess that means we at least need to keep up the mana. Except for the Vandal is just going to get bigger regardless. And if we can't attack, then we should just, yeah, try to get as wide as possible. Well, I don't know. But we're going to find out. So we get to pump, and then he pumps. So it'll be 5, 3, and then 3, 3, 3, 3. This goes back to 0. And okay, 2 humans. It's only 2 humans. I guess the Scalding Cauldron, along with those pumps, will make blocking trickier and more advantageous for us. Cool. Great. Wonderful. Glad to know. That might give him enough tempo, though, to kill us before we can do anything about it. Yeah. I don't know why he's not attacking with that 3-3. Put us on a 2-turn clock. There we go. Oh, okay. Still scared of something. Not sure what. Alright, we'll take it. I guess he's still trying to protect the Scions. Alright, well, we flooded out, so goodbye, dreams. Goodbye, dreams. And goodbye, loneliness. This is just instant speed. Still not going to help us that much. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5, except it's going to be too big. Guess we can force a trade. What's he trying to do? Draw 4 when you do, deals the number. That's gross. We're just not going to kill it. Alright, well, let's go here. And then let's go. We have to do it to the player. Oh, whatever, let's go here. Maybe it'll let us have the card. Nope, no good. Whatever, suck it. So I don't think we're dead. But I'm not super stoked. This gets to ultimate next turn. Yep. Oh, great. Well, options are rapidly dwindling. So we need an answer to the Vandal pronto. I think just our glass casket. Oh, out muscle is just out of reach. Cool. Just a little. Oh, actually, okay. So if we pump Ranger, then we can still kill Vandal. All right. And then you're gonna ultimate and put it on her face, and we're gonna die. Oh my goodness. Alright, so step 1, pump. Step 2 in the list of things that don't matter. Adamant, out muscle. I mean, it didn't matter if we adamant, I guess, but sure, out muscle. And he's got a bounce. The last card in your hand's a bounce. Great deck. Opponent hit it all. I mean, they got Covetous Urge too. Like, not quite a constructed deck, but they got it going on. We just get countered. Oh, no, we didn't. You let it go? Oh. Wait, what happened? Oh, he bounced a token. There it is. Sorry, I was just missing it. So I gotta hit her or I'm just dead, right? Cool. Okay, we're just dead. Right. I forgot that also has flash, because why wouldn't it? Nasty. Opponent had all the answers. Oh, what? Are they getting greedy? There's no way they didn't recognize that that won them the game, right? I guess they weren't paying attention to their own ultimate. I feel like they weren't paying enough attention to their own ultimate. Their own ultimate says draw 4 cards and then do that much damage to something. Okay, well, you're saying that there's a chance. So I'm saying there's a chance. So what does Return to Nature do for us? Nothing. Can get us back one of our creatures, but really, I think we have to Cauldron the Vandal. I guess we could out-muscle the Vandal, because if it's going to work, it's going to work. Yeah, we pump, muscle. And grab the Cauldron anyway? Shepherd. Maybe the Shepherd. I like that. Alright, so yeah, Shepherd, out muscle, where'd it go? Out muscle. Pay adamant. Oh my god, we're gonna run out of time. Oh my god, we're gonna run out of time! Do you. And then do you. Whatever. If he's got it, he's got it. Alright, perfect. And want the card. Oh man, are we doing it? Okay. I guess I can pick him up and play him. I guess that's fine. So pick up you. Play you. And what you got? Wow. Alright. God, that's why that's my favorite. And now we can use the Scions to grab the Covetous Urge to get the Sir Alan. Oh my god. Just when I thought we were doing all the cool stuff. Alright, so they probably just grabbed the Sir Alan, right? And then they can even play him? Ridiculous. How many cards? We still have 14 cards left. I think we could still get this damage done. Oh, is he gonna outmuscle the Fairy Godmother? That'd be a good idea. Or... nope, okay. Alright, so we gotta deal with Sir Alan. We do have a Trapped in a Tower. Or wait, do we? I think we don't have Trapped in a Tower. Sure. Right? Wait. Yeah, sure. And there we go, sure. Okay. Right. Okay. I like this. This makes me feel happy. Do we draw first? No, we want to thin first and shuffle. That doesn't matter. So we can get in the full 3. Actually, we gotta hit this guy in the face. So first, you. I don't think it matters, does it? Not really. And then we'll cast him. Alright. Going in for 3. And what's he gonna do about a 12-12? Man, what a game. Even in non-milled black-blue grindy control, these games are insane. Opponent's deck is nuts. They only have 6 cards left. You see how in disbelief I was by how high my voice got. Wow, that Beanstalk Giant just saved our bacon. If we could just bounce this Guide Mother and recast, that'd be beautiful. Do we get greedy and attack with it? Just chumps off, so I don't think so. Doesn't seem necessary. I guess we can send it at Scions. Wish we had a real card in our hand. I want the card, and I mean, they're just gonna chump, so whatever. What you got? Sure. Give me that card. Okay, I like that. All right, we're keeping it together. They might deck themselves if they're not careful. Not sure what they're looking for. I think we go ahead and... Okay. Is he gonna attack? Nope. Alright. Oh my god, can we stop drawing lands? I mean, pretty much we are real soon. So... I think we just attack again. He's trying to figure out if it's worth the card or not. Okay. Alright, well, do we want to do the extra damage? I think we do. Let's just do the extra damage. Oh my god. The flood is ridiculous. 4, 8, 9, 10, 13. I guess there's still a good many numbers in there. Oh, it's got trample and stuff and things. Oh no. I forgot about that. Oh man. Alright, we still get to pump. But that still kills us. Yeah, because it's got trample. Oh my god, the trample. The trample! No! The trample. Well, that was a good game. I don't care who knows it. Whatever. Well, I guess getting greedy there, I mean, I wanted to get the creature down too. So it wasn't just the damage, but it was like, let's use this now so that we can get our creature down for an extra attacker. But I totally slept on the trample from the Planeswalker. First strike, trample, and +2/+0. Oh man, that's kind of a heartbreaker. I feel like if I hadn't missed that, because then we would have had our trick in reserve, then let's see, it's 5, we would have had 4, it gets 1 damage through. Or was it at 6? I think it was just at 5. 3, 4, no, it was at 6 because of Sir Alan. So that still gets 2 damage through, and that would have been it anyway. Or no, wait, 2, 3. We still would have had 1 life because we would have pumped with the fox. So if we had just taken our card and not been greedy, / not squandered our battle trick just to try and get a body on the board, then we would have at least had 1 life, and I think we still needed 1 more piece though. Well, he would have attacked with Sir Alan thinking he was good, so he would have needed to put down at least 1 more blocker. Anyway, that got really intricate. It's going to be interesting to watch that on the playback. But let's go ahead and just get into the next one. Alright, so what happened was the recording program that I use basically just crapped the bed and died. I did not realize until after we'd played this game, but the game was too good to leave out of the overall matches that we played. So we're just going to do a little voiceover of me vaguely remembering how I decided what I decided as we went through. So to start off, it was a pretty good starting hand. Got plenty of early drops. Got a nice late Keeper of Fables to start drawing his cards afterwards. One of our only removal spells, albeit not the best one. And we're just starting out. I did like this deck. Green-White Adventure is definitely very powerful. We didn't end up with a lot of the powerhouses like Lucky Clover or Innkeeper, but I think we put together a pretty decent little deck. So starting out with, opponent looks like they were on possibly Mill. Pretty much anything as soon as somebody starts with blue. And Throne of Eldraine, probably even after they do balance the bots. You just kind of figured maybe they're trying to mill things. Now, since we do have the benefit of this being the voiceover in retrospect, we'll probably fast forward a little here and there, speed up the game. Alright, so far nothing impressive. Debating as to whether to keep the Squire for a trick or not. Doesn't do us a lot of good on the ground, so in retrospect, looking at this, probably should have kept it for a trick. It just feels nice to be able to add to the board. I mean, it does beef up our outflank a little bit. We're eventually going to... Oh my sweet baby Jesus. That is an Oku. That's an Oku on turn 3 in Limited. So, pretty much at this point, I'm pretty down. I mean, Oku is already broken and constructed, where there's definitely more things that are going to be able to use it. Like +2 create a food, +1 make that food into or anything else to a 3/3. It's just broken, and as you can see, it's already up to 6 loyalty the turn after a turn comes down. So we do what we have to. We start plugging in there, start dinking away at Oku's loyalty, and trying to hope that our deck comes together. We have no single card that can deal with Oku. We can only beat it up with combat damage, and at the moment, as you can see, combat damage not at an all-time high. So go back to opponent's turn. They turn the food that they made into a 3/3. Oku's back up to 5. And here I decide, might as well use what we have while we have it. Since we had the creatures, and we're going to have to deal with it at one point or another anyway, went ahead and used Outflank on the food. This is sort of optimistic in that if we can draw a 5th mana, we can plop down Keeper of Fables and start drawing cards off the fairies hitting in the air. Because we're going to need to pull ahead card-wise, especially since Oku's just never dead. Whatever he's doing, it's going to benefit, and it's for free after you get him down. Just plussing up loyalty, not even plussing down. It's a pretty broken card. So we pop down Keeper of Fables here, and it feels like opponent had, yep, a counter. So Keeper of Fables down. Luckily we have our Once and Future, or one of our 2 Once and Futures in hand. So we do what we can do. Get back in at Oku. And pass the turn, keep on hoping. So here we can get in for 4 damage at Oku, get him down to 1, make it so he has to +2 again next turn, and we can just keep chipping and chipping and chipping away. I mean, overall, we've already done 4 damage to Oku, or 6. And he's still at 5 loyalty. So after considering possibly grabbing something back out of the graveyard, we go ahead and just tap down the monitor. And then we can still play the other half of Tactician after we hit Oku for 2, and that's a pretty good board position. Opponent does have 2 Witching Wells out, but they only have 1 card in hand. Oh, but it happens to be another counter spell, so down goes the Tactician, both sides, and 3 milled into our graveyard. So we'll do what we can do, get 2 back in at Oku. This monitor's really doing some work holding back our 3rd attacker. And we start looking for targets for our once and future in our hand. We can see the once and future's already in the graveyard, so that'll be one of the cards. Then probably Keeper of Fables as it looks right now. Would really like to pull a 3rd Forest though, so we didn't have to take up one of our draws by putting the 2nd card back on top of the library. Maybe picking the Squire back up and using the trick on the Squire before replaying it as a creature, before finally landing on the solution that we just need to pick up one of the Fairy Guide Mothers, use the sorcery on the Guide Mother to give +2/+1 flying to the Squire, and then attack him with all 5 points. And eventually, once I get to that conclusion, we do so, and with no other trickery, we're able to take Oku off the board. So, pretty good. I mean, for all that Oku's value gave them, opponent's really not that far ahead. They weren't able to capitalize with extra attacks or swings. They were just able to continually cause us to use our resources to take out the tokens and keep hitting him directly for damage, etc., etc. But now we finally got Oku off the board. We've cleared it. We still have once in future. Oh, good. Gadwick. So, if Oku wasn't enough, Gadwick with looked like 4 open mana for 4 fresh cards. Opponent pulls even farther ahead on the card advantage level, while we're still trying to manage enough resources that we can try to find some parity. We want to get Gadwick off the board, even though the majority bulk of its value is in the card draw when it comes down. You can still tap down our creatures every time a blue spell is cast, which can be pretty impactful too. So here, we'd love to outmuscle to kill off the Gadwick, but I don't want to 2-for-1 ourselves, just because we've already given up so much card value. So I go ahead, especially with mana down, and pull the trigger, and even though we can't use it at adamant cost, we get the other once in future back in our hand, and then put the Keeper back on top. We keep dinking in, just chipping away damage. And this is such a long, grindy format that in Eldraine, 1/1s go a long way. So getting a Fairy Guide Mother down on turn 1 and just having it slowly chip away. Sure, by turn 8, a lot of other stuff has happened, and possibly they weren't able to attack every time, but if they can, that's done 8 damage over time for a 1 cost investment up front. So here, Gadwick triggers, opponent's getting down a 3/3 flyer, shuts down our little tiny chip attacks in the air. Go ahead and just run this Keeper out. If they have another counter, then we just have to play through it. They do. On top of that, it's the full-on 3 mill. So Keeper goes back into the graveyard. 3 more cards get milled into the graveyard as well. We're down to 16 cards total, and are currently stymied on board. That's both of our once and forever, or once and again spells, so there's no more recursion that we can pull. We can't regrow anything out of the graveyard anymore. It's just the 16 cards left and the cards we have on board. Facing down a board that Both completely stymies us on the ground, and now it's getting a little fresh up in the air. Thought that was a fairly aggressive attack for opponent, but also, what do they got to lose? Alright. Even though another land isn't super exciting, it does turn on Adamant for both of the cards in our hand. So, afraid that I'm going to run into another counter. Go ahead and fire off the once in future. That way, if nothing else, we still have a removal for the flyer or whichever card that we want to remove most. And after thinking about it, seeing how our cards were a little lower, not knowing if opponent had any more counters or any more mill in general, I thought Keeper of Fables might actually start working against us if we drew out too many cards. Even though we need cards to win, we also need just enough cards to still not mill out. So after thinking about it for a little bit, go ahead and grab Beanstalk Giant and our only other removal, or one of our only other removals, but a removal that I could cast that turn, which would be Outflank. And get in for 2 little damage and pass the turn. Opponent starts off by grabbing 2 more cards and eats another food. Now, both once and futures are gone, and right now we're just hoping to stabilize, not really knowing if the Beanstalk Giant will actually be enough or any good anyway, since the ground is blocked up. But it was a big beefy boy, and with nothing else going on for us, we needed something to put some pressure on opponent. So here, I think opponent forgot about the outflank that they saw us put in our hands. Even though it's clearly visible, sometimes it's easy to forget just what opponents have, or they just didn't care and wanted to play the aggro game. I was more than happy. We went ahead and we get rid of the Vantress Paladin. Not only is it one of the larger creatures on their board, but it's the only flyer, which is the only thing holding us back. Because right now, even though it looks pretty poor, it is a race. Beyond that, I think it was a little greedy to send the Merfolk as well, especially since we had the perfect blocker. But I think opponent just wanted to start grinding us down, realizing that we were pretty behind on cards, and at best, if we tried to draw more, it was going to get us closer to milling. Still, a little too aggressive for pretty minor payoff. So here, start to try and put together how we're going to be able to come back from this. Essentially, I figured even though it's taking another card out of our deck, we're going to go ahead and cast the Beanstalk Giant, go and search up another forest, which will allow us still to outmuscle with the Adamant cost, which allows us to take care of either Gadwick or the Thunderous Snapper. So in response, opponent has another spell at the ready and slaps it on the Shepherd, making our fight not as fighty. Luckily, since we cast for Adamant though, we still have the Shepherd around as a blocker. Get in for our 2, just keep chipping away and trying to fight through this very tricky and controlly deck, though they have had some trouble bringing enough combat damage to bear to really put any pressure on us. It's still ostensibly even. So here, instead of chumping off, knowing that we had the Giant that we're going to cast next turn, supposing it resolves, I opted to go ahead and just block one of the monitors, leaving the Shepherd up for a chumper if we needed them in the future, but also they would have to attack into the Beanstalk Giant if they were going to go that route. Alright, so perfect. So between our tricks now, we can fly the Giant over, see if this gets countered or not. No counters. No bounces. You've had enough fun. Alright, no counters. So we have liftoff for Beanstalk Giant. 10-9 flyer, putting some grease on the wheels. And we're going to swing in for 12. Clearly, this is where we're able to finally take a little bit of leap ahead and find a line that's possibly going to win us the game if we still don't mill out first, or if opponent doesn't just find yet another answer. They decide to go ahead and pop the Cauldron, take out one of the Guide Mothers, just to slow us down a hair, and then we throw down our third Guide Mother, pass the turn, knowing that we have the Silver Flame Squire Battle Trick, which can untap the Giant, allowing us to eat one of their creatures again if everything resolves. So, opponent smells blood in the water, moves in to try and finish us off, and after a little consideration, I decide, well, of course we're untapping and eating one of those creatures, but I go ahead and decide to take out the Gadwick just to minimize any more of its tapping down abilities, which could end up lethal for us if they're able to tap down the Giant. Alright, so whiff on the draw. And without much else to do, I think about it, and the only way that we lose, well, one of the only ways that we lose is if we get greedy. If we swing in with the Beanstalk Giant, they block the Secret Keeper, they're obliged to, we still get in with the 2 damage to the Guide Mother, but then all we have is one creature back on blocking duty, which if it's able to be dealt with, means lethal for us. So, with nothing much to gain and everything to lose, we hold back the Giant, get in with Guide Mother, and now we have him on a 2-turn clock, which is still quite the grind. Fought through an Oku, fought through multiple counters, a lot of mill, and we're still able to find a line, and as long as we can fade one more draw, this could be it. Opponent's not slamming anything. Okay. One blocker. Got anything to slow us down in the air? Gotta run away together. Actually wouldn't even be great for him. Another Paladin. Nope, just a land. And that's the GG's. So, not sure how many cards we had left in deck. It couldn't have been more than 10 at most. We were able to fight through, battle back, and close out that really tough game. Alright, after this, the audio kicked back in, so I'm going to throw back to past Aaron. Enjoy the rest of the games. Oh no. So I just realized that the software did not record. I'm not sure what's happening, but Audition is losing its damn mind. Yeah, okay. I don't like how expensive all those cards are, but we're going to keep it anyway. Not sure, but I really hope that this audio is getting recorded correctly. Pretty sure we lost audio for the entire last game, and this really seems to be chugging out now. I wish I had noticed it before. Anyway, let's just try and get through this game, and we'll do voiceover audio if we need to for this game as well. Okay. Anyway, non-technical issues. Whew. That's hard to... The joys of making content. Alright, well, this is a slow start, but opponent looks like they're taking a slow start too. We have a lot of pieces, we have a lot of good cards. They're going to want to blow up all 3 of these creatures. But we have once in future, so not so bad. Alright, see if Wander Mirror lasts longer than 1 turn. Nope. No surprise there. Alright. Welcome mana. Let's just put out a blocker. Best turn. We're not as concerned with using a lot of our resources right now, just because clearly we have 2 once and futures. I don't like that it's going to clog up our draw step when we do use it. Assuming we still don't have enough force when that happens. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I think that is fine. It's got vigilance, so we're not going to be able to trade damage. It's just going to keep plugging in. If you had a trick, fine. If you just wanted to clear the board, fine. Okay. At least it is a creature. Or the creatures. Okay, we're going to take 3 here. Likely. But then I think we want a mana, and even if it's green, we still lead out with Sir Alan. They could have, you know, any sort of removal, but we can't do much about that. Just hope that it isn't the exile. Since we are able to regrow a couple different cards as this game progresses. Any mana would be fine, though. What you doing? You have so much removal, you're gonna go, okay. Lifelink and indestructible. And they have plenty of mana. Well, I think we just need to blow that thing's head off immediately. Yes, sir. I believe that is the only sensible answer. Means we might chomp that unicorn, but probably not. We'll still take the damage. Yeah, I would like if that didn't happen. No thank you. There's plenty of black graveyard reiteration recursion spells, so that's not likely going to stick around in the graveyard too long, but hopefully they don't have it directly in their hand. Like a cauldron. Stir the cauldron. Looks like audio is still recording. Kinda. We'll see how it sounds. Yeah, we will reluctantly take another 3. Let's see what's up. Okay. Can't imagine what's still in their hand that isn't just some form of removal. Okay, let's ditch Return to Nature. And I think Keeper of Fables. Actually, well, we could do Once and Future and then just get it back with our other Once and Future. Guess I don't hate that. Alright. I don't necessarily love this. Let's get a creature down. If he wants to trade, then fine. Getting bottlenecked on our mana isn't helping either. Yep, reaping that night. Yeah. Done and done. Probably should have just blocked with all of them in case he had... whatever. Well, good news is we are going to get a mana. I guess we can use it. Then we're going to grab a forest and tap down on their turn. See if we can inch our way back in. I'm going to have to reset all this stuff after this game, though. Oh, recording software. Worked perfectly. That's nice. It was nice of him to put down a second creature so we could tap it. Alright. I think, except for this is non-human, so we don't get to draw the card. Guess. Yeah, I think we do Sir Alan. We can chump with the human, but he's human too. Actually, I guess we do Keeper because it does bounce off each other. Yeah, not stoked. This should staunch the bleeding though. Should we just attack? Yes. If anything else, the outflank value means we need to keep this token around for at least another minute. This has gotten very tricky. Very, very tricky. Oh no, do you have another trick? Man, this guy's got all the answers too. Sure. Okay. So that's 3, 4, 5 mana. And we can kill the Reaper. Man, okay. And then just start to regrow after that. I don't have enough white mana. Okay, alternatively nothing. So we can chump. Chumping makes that less effective. All in all, this kind of blows. Alright, let's go this route. Nice! Yeah, it is my go. You're right. And shut up. So now we have to chump. Which is what it is. Yeah, I guess we could trade. Yeah, maybe we trade. Because really, that was the problem last time, but trading I don't hate. Except for, no, we can outflank next time. He's got first strike. Alright. Yeah. Okay, so, still mana screwed. Great. We need to keep up 1 for outflank, which means we can once in future, or we can Fairy Godmother. Yeah, alright. I don't hate this line. That's fairly stable. Also depends on how he attacks. If he swings out, we're still going to have to take a little bit of a hit and maybe even get rid of the Fairy Godmother. Because we'll have to Allen and outflank the Reaper. If he hopefully pulled a dud off the top of his deck and isn't lighting up our demise, that might be enough to stabilize, and then we can start getting back at him. Okay, cool. I forgot about that part. Alright, so 3, that's still fine, I guess. Okay, that's fine. So hopefully he doesn't have any tricks, because this is about to get messy. So block here, block here. see if he does anything. Nope. Alright, I think we're in the clear. Alright. Alright. Maybe we finally stabilized here. So, let's get you down. Do we go ahead and get the flock down? I think I want to keep him as a safety valve against a removal spell. And we can swing. Yeah, we can swing away. Feels good. That feels good. Alright. We don't want to have to take 3 here, but if we have to, we have to. In the sense that if he has a removal that we need to shepherd first. Okay. That seems safe. And no attacks. That seems safe too. We could... Actually, I think I am. I'm going to shepherd the tactician back. And now we can tap down and swing away again. I like it. And then, yeah, go ahead and put her down there. Maybe we should have thought that one through better, because now if he drew a removal, we're dead. I mean, honestly, if we just punted that by getting greedy... Okay, I think we got lucky. We should have thought that through a little more, because there was no reason to push that extra damage. We could have pushed some damage, or we could have just waited and done all flying damage. They draw a card. It's very smart. No removal, no removal. Oh man, we almost punted. We left them a very viable line. Whew. A very viable line. Holy crap. That was so close. We almost screwed that up so bad. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got him in the air. And we can go ahead and attack because he's got first strike for the lifelink. Man, that was close though. We very nearly punted that one away. Some very minute interactions. All we had to do was just keep Sir Alan back on blocking, and that would have been just safe enough that even if they had drawn removal, which luckily they didn't, we would have had the single blocker to even go through that nonsense. By getting a little greedy, I guess we did up the clock by 1, but we had enough cards that we unnecessarily took that risk. Alright, I'm going to shut this down and reset everything and be right back for game number 5, see if we can get 4 wins. Alright, I believe we have all of our technical issues out of the way. So now let's focus on playing some sweet, sweet magic. So, upon playing our deck more, and I gave it a little look-see too while I was rebooting everything, I think it's as good as we can get as far as what we have available in the go wide strategy we have. The tricky part remains in trying to capitalize on our adventures. Since we don't have strong synergies, we have some synergies, and that's mostly in making sure we make smart trades when we need to, but not necessarily all the time when we have to. Wow, this looks like it should be a good hand, but it is not. These don't come online and become useful till turn 5+. And Outmuscle is great. Probably our best removal, and we'll still need creatures to cast it. And we have 3 mana. All this is great except for the wrong spells. Ugh. Well, we can cast 3 cards even though we have 2 mana, so we're going to keep. I think we rely on our other once and future showing up if we need it. For all the same reasons I already discussed. Can't really start with a utility card that doesn't come online for 5 or 6 turns when we're a card down, so. Alright, this is probably our sketchiest start, but we'll see how it works out. Definitely want a mana, ASAP. Okay, there we go. That makes it worth holding on, playing Wandermere and then Squire. Got blue across the way there, so... Oh man. Wow! It's amazing how many times we fell into this today, and I had never seen that interaction before, period. Maybe it's because we didn't play enough Fairy Guide Mothers on turn 1. But getting surprise vandaled... pretty real. Alright, so we're going to at least get the Wandermere down for sure, but opponent's got a really nice... Okay. Really nice aggro air plan going already. So what this can do for us is, well, a few different things. He's probably going to get the Vandal pumped. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, because when it comes in. Which means maybe it was proper for us to kill it outright before. Now we really do have quite a pickle. We can Cauldron and outflank, but that leaves a lot of us open to bounce and counters. We're losing this in 2 turns unless we change this somehow. If we play out our creatures, it makes our outflank better, but not, I think, good enough. If we Squire, then we don't have anything else. Outflank is more key than I would have thought. I think we need to take that Lock Dragon off the table, though. So let's attack first. Probably just let it through. Can't imagine he wants to screw with it. Oh man, if he doesn't, though, then we'll gladly use our trick. There we go. As it stands, I don't think we want to outflank just the Raider. Feels bad. Feels bad. Let's just get it over with. We really don't want the Vandal to grow naturally just in the course of this Lock Dragon, plus it takes 3 damage off their side. But we're still in pretty dire straits here. If we get a mana, we can Ranger and then hold up outflank with 3 damage on the table. Still doesn't take care of the Vandal, unfortunately. And I just can't imagine an opponent doesn't have any and all didn't say please counters that came across their table, as they look like they're just mono blue. Tempting, but no. Got a follow-up? Oh, gross. There goes our out muscle. Okay. Okay, well that does help. Alright. So we don't get to do anything else, but we do get to get rid of that Vandal. And yeah, we've just been hamstrung. Our synergies aren't lining up as well. Clearly we could use more white mana. We got the main threat off the board, but it still has 4 cards and 1 flying threat. Okay. I just don't see him not having a counter. So should we go for the creature and not care if they counter the Silver Flame? Seems better than getting a whole ranger wiped out, but the upside is nice too if we do manage to. Again, white mana is our limiting reagent. Alright. Let's see if they have a counter then. Oh nice, we get the trigger regardless. I should have known that. Wouldn't have thought quite as much. Wouldn't surprise me if a So Tiny pops down here. Run away together, okay. Sure. He's gonna kill us with little one dinks before anything else. Take that back. Not looking great. That helps. Alright, resolves. Okay. Not in total danger of milling. Oh, wow, they are draw 2. And just we're missing red the whole time. That explains a lot of no counter spells but lots of cards in hand. Not sure if that makes me feel any better though. Sure. Oh, now I want to outflank that ratter. Okay, second white mana helps. Actually, I guess it isn't as much as we want it to. Can't imagine they block, but let's see what happens. Seriously? Why? Well, maybe they have a counter. Oh, I guess they can bounce. That was their whole plan, I guess. Okay. Not super satisfying, but okay. And let's go ahead and I guess go for the Wonder Mane. It does allow us to piggyback the synergy of the Ranger at least. Just not sure we can come up with enough damage fast enough. Milling isn't nearly the issue it is as getting rid of this 1/1 freaking flyer. Okay. Yeah, they're not super impressive synergies and they take a lot of mana. Stop making fun of our deck opponent. Yeah, okay. Recast the Ratter. And draw your second card? No? Yeah, that's what I would do. Clock's a clock. And we don't have any food synergies or anything. We're just trying to beat down and we are way behind. Not sure what's going on over there. Opponent. Okay. That's not super helpful right now. I do need to keep it in mind though if they go to grab another spell with a Mystic Sanctuary, we can get it out of their graveyard. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Let's see if they counter this. Slaying Fire. Oh, for less. Okay. Not like happy about it, but alright. Not sure why they thought waiting was going to help that much. Actually, they could have put that on our face. That seems easier, but then I don't know. I don't know what their hand is. I mean, if you can make even just one little batch of rats this turn, then it's going to slow down our attacking considerably. Okay, guess they can't. We could probably return that to nature. I don't see too many other... I mean, they could have a blue... whatever. Thirst. Tap out enchantment, but... feel like... ah, crap. Oh, well... I take it back. I guess we give them the wheel. And eat the Slaying Fire, yeah. Wheel's going to be annoying, but that would have been game ending, so is what it is. Did it just pass our turn? Wait, what? That was weird. Well, we're one off of being able to cast both these things, which is too bad. But we do have a flyer, which is fine. Let's see if it resolves. Do you resolve? It'd still tap us down. Okay, we'll tap that first. Interesting. We're so low on life, I can't chance them wanting to attack with the Ratter as well. Like, we really don't want to give up another single point of life if we can help it. So we can use the wheel to tap down the path later. Great. I don't even know if any of these cards can help us. 12 cards left. What do we have? Outmuscle's in here somewhere, right? Yeah, there's Outmuscle. We have one more Cauldron? Yeah, we have one more Cauldron. Another Fairy Guide Mother. Not too much else that leaps to mind as far as help. Man, the client is acting weird. Sure. Not sure if he understands how that works. Okay. Alright, so let's beanstalk up Plains. Throw down our Ranger Boy. I think. I don't think we want to cast. Or do we? No, we want to be able to pump up twice, right? Actually, no, let's go ahead. Let's go wide. And then trade him 3 for 1. Alright, I don't hate it. Screw you. Come down to 6 and I'll go to 4. Those are my terms. Imagine he wants to tap down the... Oh, wait. Really? Really? Maybe he's gonna go for the mill? Not sure if I agree with that. It's very interesting. Alright, next turn, depending on what we draw, I think I still just want to get the Ranger down. Pump effect is pretty clutch. But also, I'm wondering why he doesn't tap down the flyer. Okay. 8. Alright, there he goes. It's a much more reasonable wheel there. I think we need to leverage our go wide. We want to get this other Ranger down first. So you can't swing back with barely anything right now. But I need more to be able to go around easily. Yeah. One big boy to smash, or a pumper. The pump still doesn't get us high enough to kill anything though, except for the squire. Is that enough? Nah, let's get down, big boy. That's surefire smacking around regardless. Still has a card in hand. Alright. He's down to 18. We'll definitely mill first if that's what it comes to. But I think this is going to be decided with damage in the next 4 or 5 turns. Or at least it needs to be for us. Interesting. Alright. Ugh. Yeah, I guess we don't want to draw anyway. It's just a knee-jerk reaction is, can't get down Keeper of Fables and draw more cards. Oh wait, I don't want to draw more cards. Alright, so nothing to be gained except for going to attacks. I'm not sure. Okay. It's going to take some damage. So he has to block there. And I'll probably want to make him trade there. Yeah. So saying if we wanted to keep one more blocker back, but I don't think so. Though I'm not thrilled if it is a counter he has for this Ocum Ranger. Maybe we should have cast it first. Okay. What? Oh, he's got to bounce. Yeah, alright, so he's going to bounce the giant and one of his secret keepers, probably. Super weird. Alright. Still not sure about those blocking schemes. So here comes a runaway together, probably. Yeah, on a Secret Keeper. Oh, can we cast both sides again? I guess we don't want to. We really need like every one of those cards. Alright, just cast it. Okay. Man, this is yet again another grindy, delicate, down to the last decision sort of game. Which, let me be clear, are phenomenal. They do consume a lot of time and a lot of concentration, but if you're not playing Magic to spend your time playing it concentrating hard, then you're not playing the right game. I don't think he meant to do that, did he? Unless he's got a Gadwick, which would be great, because maybe he'll deck himself. Nope, still a 17. Okay. That's going to trigger the rats. And we'll be able to get in a flyer hit. Yeah, maybe he will discard himself. Oh, he's probably looking to find a land. No, actually here to use the wheel, so... Right. Oh man, that regrow would have been nice. Is that both of them now, probably? Let's see. Yeah, it's both of them. Still have a Cauldron. You still have a bounce in hand? Maybe. Doesn't matter as much now since we're so stinking behind. He's got 7 blockers. Now some actually have teeth, quote unquote. Wow. It's pretty rough. So he throws a rat, I assume, from the giant. A fairy guide mother. Do we still have fairy guide mother? 1, 2. Say a fairy guide mother for the beanstalk. Be pretty nice. Unless he has yet another bounce in his hand, but I can't control this guy's hand. Do we make it 3? Think so. 3 gets us to 4. Double pump. We need to chump off a few. I don't think it's going to matter as much. But now the Pathlighter is lethal, which means he's working with 3 mana essentially. And phew, some form of bounce Secret Keeper is it for us. So I don't even know what we draw. Cauldron doesn't do enough. That's pretty good. That might do it. We have to leave our outflank. That's fine. Well, does this work? Oh, come on. You gotta... Didn't say please. Jesus. And there's a fairy guide mother. It didn't matter. I mean, he had the counter. And just enough mana to do everything, wheel and counter and everything. Oh man, tap the giant for some reason. Tap the giant or the squire. Go for a ranger. I don't know. Don't tap that pathfinder. Pathlighter. There's no way he doesn't do it, right? Yeah. You're kidding me, right? Yeah, you gotta tap him. That's so disappointing. The Silver Flame didn't work out. I mean, there's no way, right? Let's make him do the math, but that last counter was a good game. I can't complain. It's hard fought, and it came down to that. If you didn't have it, then pretty sure that that Silver Flame ritual was going to work. Sure. Good game, good game. Well, nuts. Felt like we were going to pull that one out again. Well, let's go. I feel like this deck deserves at least a 4 or 5 win. It's not phenomenal, but it's pretty good. Of course, I've yet to see a straightforward game. I don't like 2 mana, but I don't like mulliganing. That's 1, 2 when we need it. Alright, it's probably ill-advised, but yay, see, we're geniuses, we know everything. I mean, yeah, we still need more, but it's a good start. Alrighty. Gross. Okay. We start racing in the air. And then we go tokens, ranger, ritual. Might have to scatter a casket outflank somewhere in there. Sure. Are you gonna reave a soul, or are you gonna... I don't know. Okay. Well, kind of feel like Beanstalk, grab a forest, casket the noble. Yeah, I want to ramp, even though I also want to get those tokens down. Yeah, that's fine. Now we can put down the ranger, rather put down the tokens and keep up the outflank, even though we cannot outflank that. Ugh, what a good card against us. Alright, now we're only one off the beanstalk giant at least. Wow, what a ridiculously good card against us. Cool. Cool. I can't even outflank it? How do I don't think I kill it. I have an outmuscle. I have to outmuscle that or nothing. Well, 1 mana brings down a must-answer threat, at least. That can't get totally screwed by the Archon. Okay. I'm kind of into that. So we can ritual and then outflank the unicorn? Except for we can't because we'll be out of white mana. Guess it's big boy or bust. And then we'll ritual next turn. Dope. Ah! Stupid Archon. Man, I cannot remember that thing's ability to save my life. Literally. Okay, that's cool. I'm sure it won't cause problems. Archon's gonna literally just pick us apart. Sure, why not? Everybody get in here. Wow, we can't actually take that. But we're gonna take it. If we don't, then we're totally screwed. Alright, that's not bad. But it's also protection for white? Are you kidding me? What a dream matchup for this guy. We're going to lose our third game to Archon. Gross. God, this is brutal. That tells you anything. Guess maybe we could have put down the shepherd first. I don't think it matters though. This is brutal. Yeah, too many answers. Too many answers. He's got it locked up. It's just a matter of how he wants to do it. Oh, man. Yep. 2-turn clock. Why wouldn't you? Holy crapolas. Okay. A million turns too late. So I can pick him up. Tap 2 creatures. That doesn't really do much. I think we're still dead. 3, 6, 4. 2 creatures get through. Just doesn't matter much. You still have an outflank though, too. Alright. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. I don't think it's going to be much. That doesn't help. Yeah. Do that. Yeah. So everything's got to block something. And probably hit that Murderous Rider. So... Okay, so kill you. That goes through. Alright. Block you, and you, and you. Okay. You block you. Can you block you? Right. So he gets one creature, that's why we attacked the way we did. Okay. Are we? Okay, there we go. It was like, are we pulling this out? I feel like that was really reckless on his side. Okay, doesn't hurt. There is a chance. Okay. Alright, we gotta figure it out. Like this turn. Okay, he goes for it. Okay, we whiff. I think that might be game. What another crazy close game. There's so many crazy close games. If that, if that wasn't a whiff, that wasn't land. Enable our attacks. He just needs to swing out, yeah. And we lose all of our creatures and take one. Oh, man. Okay, not out of it yet. Just mostly out of it. Okay. It's a creature? Yes. Oh, man. That is still, sure, you always want to win, but it's just still some satisfying games. lot of nuance. All of your decisions matter. Yeah, I didn't expect 3-3, but I didn't expect to win the game against Oko, which I'll fill the audio in voiceover when we do editing. And then I didn't expect to lose maybe a couple of those others. It's just back and forth. So if you haven't got in and gotten some ranked draft done, Throat of Eldraine, or traditional draft really, it doesn't matter either one, then get in there and do it, because it is so much fun. Well, that's going to be this one. I'm going to try to get it out a little early. Maybe even double up and get a second video out again too, because this has just been so much fun and everybody seems to be hype. But if you watched, really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, as well as if you aren't subscribed, you want to see some more of my videos, a subscribe would be really, really appreciated too. Thanks again. This has been Aaron Channel Top, and we'll see you later.